Joe Delaney. Joe Delaney was a professional American football player for the Kansas City Chiefs and was widely respected not only for his talent on the field, but also for his extraordinary character off it. Known for his kindness and generosity, Delaney had a lifelong habit of helping others, including once paying for the funeral of a former teacher whose family could not afford the cost. On the 29th of June, 1983, while living in Ruston, Louisiana, Delaney visited Critters Creek at Chenault Park in Monroe with friends. During the visit, he noticed three children struggling in a deep water hole created by recent construction. Although the pond was never intended for swimming, and Delaney himself could not swim, he immediately jumped into the water to save them. One child escaped safely, and another was taken to the hospital but later died, and Delaney tragically drowned along with the third child. His actions were widely recognized as an act of pure selflessness and bravery. Delaney's death shocked the nation. Over 3,000 people attended his funeral and memorial service. President Ronald Reagan posthumously awarded him the Presidential Citizens Medal, praising his courage and compassion. He also received the NCAA Award of Valor and the Louisiana State Civilian Bravery Award. The Kansas City Chiefs honored Delaney by wearing a memorial patch during the 1983 NFL season and unofficially retiring his jersey number 37. He was later inducted into the Chiefs Hall of Fame and remains honored in the team's Ring of Honor. Numerous awards, parks, foundations, and memorials continue to preserve his legacy as a hero who gave his life for others. Chuck Hughes. Chuck Hughes was a professional American football player for the Detroit Lions, whose career and life were tragically cut short in one of the most heartbreaking moments in NFL history. In August 1971, Hughes suffered an injury during a preseason game against the Buffalo Bills. After the game, he collapsed in the locker room and was rushed to the hospital. Doctors suspected a spleen injury, but were unable to correctly diagnose his condition. He was released from the hospital without fully recovering, despite continuing to experience pain and physical discomfort. Over the next 2 months, Hughes dealt with persistent health issues, including chest pain that he believed was caused by acid reflux and other minor ailments. Even though his condition did not improve, he insisted on continuing to play football, repeatedly stating that the pain he felt was not that bad. Unknown to him and the medical staff at the time, Hughes was suffering from severe, undiagnosed heart disease. On the 24th of October 1971, the Detroit Lions hosted the Chicago Bears at Tiger Stadium. Late in the fourth quarter, with Detroit trailing 28-23, Hughes entered the game as an injury replacement. He made a crucial 32-yard reception from quarterback Greg Landry, moving the Lions deep into Bears territory and keeping their comeback hopes alive. Only moments later, Hughes returned to the huddle, but suddenly collapsed near the 20-yard line, clutching his chest. Bears linebacker Dick Butkus witnessed Hughes convulsing on the field and urgently signaled for medical help. Team doctors, trainers, and a physician in attendance attempted to revive him before he was transported by ambulance to Henry Ford Hospital. The game continued in stunned silence, but Hughes was pronounced dead at 5:34 p.m. at just 28 years old. An autopsy revealed that Hughes had advanced arteriosclerosis, with one coronary artery 75% blocked and a family history of heart disease. The official cause of death was a massive heart attack caused by coronary thrombosis. Hughes remains the only NFL player to die on the field during a game, leaving a lasting and sobering legacy in professional football history. Sean Taylor. Sean Taylor was a star safety for the Washington Redskins and one of the most feared defensive players in the NFL before his life was tragically cut short. On the night of the 26th of November, 2007, while at his home in Miami, Taylor heard suspicious noises inside the house. As he went to investigate, he was shot in the leg by a home intruder. His fiancée, Jackie Garcia, and their 8-month-old daughter, Jackie, were unharmed. The bullet severed Taylor's femoral artery, causing massive blood loss. Taylor was rushed to Jackson Memorial Hospital, where doctors fought to save his life. Despite their efforts, he died the following morning on the 27th of November, 2007, at just 24 years old. His death shocked the NFL and sports world, cutting short a career filled with promise and dominance. Taylor's funeral was held on the 3rd of December 2007 at the Farmed Arena at Florida International University. Days after his death, 5 suspects were arrested and charged in connection with the crime. Ultimately, multiple defendants received long prison sentences, including life imprisonment for Jason Scott Mitchell, who was identified as the mastermind of the burglary. The gunman, Eric Rivera Jr., was a minor at the time and therefore did not face the death penalty, but was later sentenced to over 57 years in prison. The NFL honored Taylor by placing a black No. 21 decal on all players' helmets during Week 13 games and holding moments of silence across the league. Taylor was posthumously voted starting free safety for the NFC in the 2008 Pro Bowl and named a second-team All-Pro. The Redskins painted his number 21 on the field, encased his locker in glass, established a trust fund for his daughter, and created permanent memorials in the team's Ring of Fame. In October 2021, the Washington franchise officially retired Taylor's number 21 jersey, making him only the 3rd player in team history to receive that honor. A road leading to the stadium was also named in his memory. Sean Taylor's legacy endures not only through his achievements on the field, but through the lasting impact he left on his teammates, fans, and the entire NFL. Aaron Hernandez. Aaron Hernandez was a gifted professional football player who rose to prominence as a tight end for the New England Patriots. His athletic success, however, was overshadowed by a tragic downfall marked by violence, imprisonment, and an early death. On the 18th of June 2013, police began investigating the murder of Hernandez's friend, Odin Lloyd, whose body was found in an industrial park near Hernandez's home. Lloyd had been shot multiple times. The following day, Hernandez denied involvement when questioned by team officials, but as media scrutiny intensified, he was barred from team facilities. On June 26, Hernandez was charged with first-degree murder and gun-related offenses, and the Patriots released him within hours. 2 other men were also arrested in connection with the case. In 2015, Hernandez was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. No clear motive was ever established. Following his arrest, he lost millions in salary and endorsements, and his name and likeness were removed from merchandise, video games, and institutions tied to his past. While incarcerated, Hernandez claimed prison life felt less stressful than the outside world. He became more religious, but also faced disciplinary issues and allegations of drug use. While appealing his conviction, Hernandez was found dead in his prison cell on the 19th of April 2017 at age 27, having died by suicide. Though his conviction was briefly vacated due to his death during the appeal, it was reinstated in 2019. After his death, Hernandez was diagnosed with severe CTE, a brain disease linked to repeated head trauma. His story remains one of the most troubling tragedies in NFL history. Darrent Williams. On the night of the 31st of December 2006, Denver Broncos cornerback Darrent Williams was celebrating the end of the NFL season and the new year with friends and teammates in downtown Denver. Earlier that day, he had played in the Broncos' final game of the season before attending a New Year's Eve party at the nightclub Shelter, hosted by Denver Nuggets player Kenyon Martin. As the night progressed, tensions rose inside the club following an argument involving individuals connected to gang activity. Broncos teammate Brandon Marshall was among those involved, though authorities confirmed Williams was not part of the confrontation. After leaving the club shortly after 2 a.m., Williams entered a rented Hummer H2 limousine with teammates and friends. As the vehicle traveled near the intersection of 11th Avenue and Spear Boulevard, another car suddenly pulled alongside them. Without warning, shots were fired into the limousine. Williams was struck by a single bullet to the neck and collapsed into the lap of teammate Javon Walker. Despite rushed efforts to get medical help, Williams was pronounced dead around 2:30 a.m. on the 1st of January 2007. He was just 24 years old. 2 other passengers were injured but survived. The shooting shocked the NFL and devastated Denver. Investigators later confirmed Williams had no involvement in gang activity. In 2010, Willie D. Clark was convicted of his murder and sentenced to life in prison. Williams is survived by his wife and 2 children, and his death remains a tragic reminder of how quickly celebration can turn to loss. Korey Stringer. In the summer of 2001, Korey Stringer reported to Minnesota Vikings training camp, ready to prepare for the upcoming NFL season. On July 30, the second day of preseason camp, the team practiced under extreme heat. During the morning session, Stringer became exhausted and was unable to finish practice. He sat out the afternoon session, but told coaches he would return the next day. On July 31, Stringer returned to the field, wearing full pads despite rising temperatures. Practice lasted more than 2 hours as the heat index climbed into dangerous levels. During the session, Stringer vomited multiple times but continued practicing and completed the workout. After practice, Stringer walked to an air-conditioned shelter to cool down. Shortly afterward, he became weak, dizzy, and collapsed. He was rushed to a nearby hospital, where doctors recorded his body temperature at 108 degrees Fahrenheit. He remained unconscious from the time he was admitted. Despite intensive medical treatment, Stringer's condition continued to worsen. In the early morning hours of the 1st of August 2001, Korey Stringer died from complications caused by heat stroke. An autopsy later confirmed that his death resulted from organ failure due to extreme overheating. Stringer's death shocked the NFL and raised serious questions about training camp safety. The Minnesota Occupational Safety and Health Administration conducted an investigation and later cleared the Vikings of responsibility, stating that negligence could not be proven under labor laws. Although the autopsy confirmed that Stringer was not taking supplements, the team later announced that dietary supplements were found in his locker as they prepared for a potential lawsuit. Korey Stringer's death became a turning point for professional football. His passing led to greater awareness of heat-related illness and helped push the league toward improved safety protocols and better protection for players practicing in extreme conditions. His legacy stands as a reminder that toughness and determination should never come at the cost of a life. Will Smith. On the 9th of April 2016, former NFL star Will Smith was traveling through the Lower Garden District of New Orleans with his wife and 2 passengers when a minor traffic incident escalated into a deadly confrontation. Earlier that night, Smith's vehicle made contact with a Hummer driven by Cardell Hayes. Minutes later, Hayes rear-ended Smith's Mercedes G-Wagon with enough force to shatter the rear window. After the collision, both men exited their vehicles and began arguing. The situation quickly became heated, and moments later, Hayes pulled out a handgun and fired. Will Smith was fatally shot, while Raquel Smith was seriously injured but survived. Hayes was arrested at the scene, and police later found a loaded handgun inside Smith's vehicle. Hayes claimed he acted in self-defense. Hayes was charged with second-degree murder, though a toxicology report later showed Smith had a high blood alcohol level. In December 2016, Hayes was convicted of manslaughter and attempted manslaughter and sentenced to 25 years in prison. Marion Barber. In the years after his football career ended, Marion Barber's life became increasingly troubled. In 2014, police detained him following an incident that raised concerns about his mental health. He was taken for evaluation, marking the first public sign that he was struggling away from the field. As time passed, those struggles continued. In 2019, Barber was arrested after damaging 2 parked cars while running through a neighborhood. The incident confused many who knew him and added to growing concerns about his well-being. Barber later pleaded no contest to 2 counts of criminal mischief. In April 2022, he was sentenced to probation, community service, and a fine. Despite these issues, Barber remained intensely focused on physical training. Friends and police later noted that he frequently exercised in extreme conditions, pushing his body well beyond safe limits. He was known to work out in environments described as sauna-like, driven by routines he had followed since his playing days. On the 1st of June 2022, Barber was discovered unresponsive inside his apartment in Frisco, Texas. Authorities began an investigation to determine what had happened. An autopsy later revealed that Barber's condition was caused by extreme overheating. Police stated that he had set the thermostat in his apartment to 91 degrees Fahrenheit while exercising. Medical examiners ruled the incident an accident caused by heat stroke. There was no evidence of foul play. He was 38 years old. Barber's story highlighted the hidden struggles many former athletes face after leaving professional sports. The discipline and intensity that once made him successful may have contributed to dangerous habits later in life. Marion Barber was remembered as a powerful runner and fierce competitor. His passing served as a reminder that physical strength does not protect against unseen battles, and that life after football can be just as challenging as the game itself.